Is this thing on? Hey, gang, and welcome to another episode of The Jace Perspective. I am your host, Terrible Ash Jace, the terrible of the terriblest. Sidebar, please don't take anything that I say seriously, as I don't even take anything that I say seriously, okay? So that's the disclaimer. That's it. All right? Man, so it's been a couple of weeks, but here I am. Miss you guys. Let's go ahead and jump right on into it, okay? So y'all know my questions, and I got one. And the question is, what is sexy about children? And the answer is absolutely nothing. But then again, I am not part of the sick fuck brigade, okay? But apparently, a lot of people do think that children are sexy, namely some big time execs over at Nickelodeon. There was a recent documentary called Quiet on Set that premiered on the ID Discovery Channel. And it showcases a well known perv and resident asshole named Dan Schneider, who has been in the land of TV since the days of Head of Class, which was out around, and I'm telling my age, y'all, okay? I'm telling my age, 1986. I used to watch it when I was younger, and the TV show alum included Robin Givens and Howard Hessman, who played the teacher. Just to name a couple of people on the show, in case you're in that time frame and age group, okay? Anyway, fast forward to the 90s when he became a new creator at Nickelodeon, where he began his reign of terror, racism, creepiness, emotional manipulation, sexualization of child actors, and treating the women like pure D shit. Quiet on Set takes a deep dive and close look at accusations concerning showrunner Dan Schneider creating a toxic workplace for women writers, and there were I believe two or three. I want to say two, very well could have been three. But anyway, there were two crew member arrests for child abuse, amongst other horrendous things, including hiring we're not going to say the P word because we don't want to get tagged, child lovers, okay? PDF files. Okay. So Dan Schneider helped to create many popular kid TV shows such as All That, The Amanda Show, Drake and Josh, Zoe 101, iCarly, and Victorious, to name a few. In the ID doc, it was shown that he was involved in script writing that included Ariana Grande jerking off a potato, asking it to release the magic juice. And also, she was made to lay backwards over the bed while pouring water over herself and making very adult erotic noises such as moaning that's very reminiscent of a woman in the throes of passion during sex. He had Jamie Lynn Spears, sister of Britney Spears, receive a shot of clear liquid to the face, which one of the former child stars, now an adult, said that they overheard some adults whisper on the set. That was a cum shot. Now, of course, the children who are now adults were talking about this, and they said that they heard the adults speak these words. And of course, as a child, what the fuck are you supposed to know about a cum shot? Okay. But yes, some children, now adults, said that they overheard adults on the set whisper that was a cum shot. And that wasn't the only time on one of these Nickelodeon shows that Dan Schneider had a young female star receive some sort of liquid face treatment to the face. There was a young black male star named Leon Frierson. He had to portray a character called Captain Big Nose. He was forced to wear an outfit that had noses on the shoulders, but the noses on the shoulders looked like dick and balls. So if you saw the documentary, on the they had the prosthetic nose, which was very big, very exaggerated, with the two nostrils on the side. And on here, they had the nose with the two nostrils, and it looked very phallic. Looked like dick and balls. If you guys saw the documentary, you know what I'm talking about. He also had the same young black male star constantly wear bodysuits that made the young man feel very uncomfortable due to his growing body. Now, as a child, especially, well, I ain't gonna say especially because you got young ladies and young men, but anyway, when a child, whether male or female, says growing body, we know what that means. Growing body means the genitalia gets bigger, sits out farther. With the young girls, it'll be the breasts protrude. The ass gets a little curvy. Your hips jut out a little bit more womanly than before. A growing body. We all know what the fuck a growing body is, okay? So when the young gentleman, who's now a grown up, said that as he was growing into his body, he was forced to wear these bodysuits that accentuated his growing body, which means his penis was getting progressively bigger, okay? And one particular scene, Leon said, made him feel super uncomfortable when he sneezed and a snot-like substance shot out onto another young actor's face, who was a young girl, young black girl. She was playing the judge, aka another cum shot. Other inappropriate scenes that took place ranges from peanut butter being smeared all over a child's body. It was supposed to be some kind of I forget the name of the show, but it was supposed to be something like a Fear Factor sort of show, but Nickelodeon style. So one of the things that had to be done is they took a young actor, male, and they covered him in peanut butter from head to toe, laid him on the ground, and allowed about 2 to 3 dogs come out. And the peanut butter was licked off of the young boy's body. He said he felt very uncomfortable. Like, what are we doing? Bestiality? Because when animals are licking all over, y'all know the beast, disgusting. And there was another situation where there was a character called Fetus Boy. And one of the producers on the show said, hey, and this was a black child, hey, let's get a charcoal colored bodysuit. Charcoal is the color of my hair. And my hair ain't even that dark because I have dark brown hair. But here, so charcoal, black. Who the fuck you know got skin color this tone? Why the fuck would you say to a child, oh, we're going to put a charcoal bodysuit on you, when you know that there are other shades of nude bodysuits? That's racist. There was even a situation in the writing room where a female writer, who, number one, revealed that she had to share salary with another female writer and was told by Dan Schneider and company that that was normal, that that was how they paid everybody. Actually, they came to find out that that was not true. They were supposed to get separate salaries, separate paychecks for their work. Okay. Which is normally what happens. That's normally how it works, is when you do work, you get your own separate paycheck. You don't share it with other people. But Dan Schneider and company basically told these 2 women that that would be happening. Anyway, this one particular situation, the female writer was telling a story about a high school situation that happened. And Dan Schneider says, hey, you know what would be really funny? If you bend over the table and retell the story, but act like you're being sodomized while you tell the story. And she said, I didn't want to do it. And he said, come on, it'll be funny. She said, I was really uncomfortable, but I did it because it's like, I don't want to ruffle any feathers. I don't want to make anybody mad. So she retells the story while she acts as if she's being sodomized. Isn't that a great leader? To have somebody act like they're being sodomized while they tell a story. My goodness. Then we discover that Brian Peck, not Peck, Peck. Brian Peck, a known child lover and also someone who played a character named Pickle Boy. And Pickle Boy ran around and stuck pickles into holes around the set and stuck pickles into people's mouths, real suspect looking. He was sexually assaulting Drake Bell once he turned 15 years old. And brutally at that. Sodomy. What else were the charges? It was sodomy, forced oral penetration. No, forced penile penetration. Um, I forgot how they worded it, but basically blowjobs, oral copulation or something like that. But the wording I forget because I saw this when it first came out. It's been a minute. But yeah, basically he sodomized Drake. He made him suck his dick. He probably sucked his dick. And then he coerced him to do child pornography for him, which means he probably had Drake stripped naked and he had his own personal gallery of naked Drake Bell, 15-year-old naked Drake Bell. And on the interview, it was very hard to watch because Drake and Josh used to be a show that me and my daughter watched. So it was like watching these kids grow up. And so it was hard to watch it because it's like all these years we had no idea. All these years we had no idea that these children on Nickelodeon were suffering the way that they were. Absolutely horrendous. But the interviewer asked Drake Bell a question and he was like, well, imagine the worst sexual assault that someone can do to you, and that should answer your question. So, yeah. Now, Brian Peck did jail time, but he only served 16 months for his assault crime. The likes of James Marsden and Alan Thicke, to name a couple, wrote letters of support for Brian Peck, which actually appeared to help lighten the sentence. They, James Marsden, Alan Thicke, Robin Thicke Daddy, rest where you are. He passed away. I was going to say rest in peace, but once I found out that his ass wrote a letter to support fucking Brian Peck, I'd rather say another word, but I ain't going to say it. So Alan Thicke, may you rest where you are. Anyway, they wrote letters in support of Brian Peck, saying that Drake Bell, a 15-year-old young man, was lying about being brutally sexually assaulted by this man. They called him a friend. They said he was a good person. Now, James Marsden, in case you don't know, is a very popular actor in Hollywood. He's played in many films. I'll name a few. Sonic, the Sonic franchise. X-Men, 27 Dresses, Hairspray. Many, just to name a few. He's done TV shows and movies. He's very, very popular. So this just goes to show, you look at James Marsden, you look at the Alan Thicks of the world, and you look at all of these celebrities and you say, wow, they look really, they're very attractive and they look like they have it together and they're heartthrobs and men and women are swooning all over them. And you know, on interviews, they seem so personable, and it's crazy because we can get sucked into falling in love with a celebrity or an idea. I know. I was victim of Jonathan Majors. Once upon a time, you could not tell me nothing bad about Jonathan Majors. In all of his interviews, he seemed so sweet and compassionate and empathetic, and he just seemed like an overall great guy. When we had no idea that this man was doing what the fuck he was doing with the women that he dated. And actually, they just ain't talking about it because I guess I got so many other celebrities to talk about. You know, he's not working. But actually, and it's not being talked about, but I've read and I have waiting, probably he'll be in one of the upcoming episodes. But outside of Grace Jabari, who he just had the very well publicized court case with, there were two other women in Hollywood that said they dated him and basically said the same thing Grace said. But anyway, I digress. That just goes to show we can never put anything or past anybody, no matter how attractive they are, no matter how they come off on interviews. We don't know these people personally, okay? So, we don't know them. We don't know these pieces of shit personally. We can only see and go by what's portrayed in public, and it's fucked up, but it's easy. It's easy to fall in love with an attractive, nice person, right? Okay. It's more like, I believe it's more of the idea of them. Because we don't know these motherfuckers from Adam. From Adam's house cat. We don't know none of these motherfuckers. Okay? We got to remember that. Dan Schneider, since the release of the documentary and reveal of how horrible things were at Nickelodeon, has been basically put in the hot seat, and he had an interview where he issued an apology for how poorly the kids were treated and how the women writers were treated. And I owe people some really aggressive apologies. Nigga, you owe people more than a fucking aggressive apology. You do. Amanda Bynes fucked up. Ariana Grande, she ain't speak. She doing her thing with her music, but I'm quite sure she got some memories that she would love to get on up out of the brain piece. But you know, it's what's there. What you gonna do? But yeah, the apology was very fake, very rehearsed, very unfeeling. It was kind of just like you have to do this to make it look good. And he sure enough, I take responsibility for what I've done. And shut up. Shut up. You got to do more than apologize. Absolutely. And there's an even bigger piece of the audacity pie for doing this. There's a quote that a spokesperson for Nickelodeon released a quote. They didn't say their names. They just said they were a spokesperson. And the quote says, "Remember, all stories, dialogue, costumes, and makeup were fully approved by network executives on two coasts." I'm going to say East and West. "A standards and practices group read and ultimately approved every script, and programming executives reviewed and approved all episodes." Well, of course the executives approved all the episodes, y'all. The executives are all degenerate child lovers as well. All degenerate lovers of the children. Okay? So this statement means nothing. It only proves everything that we have been suspicious of and suspected, and that it's 100% correct. Of course, these executives are not going to say, that's a little suspect. We don't want to do that. We don't want the liquid to go on the baby's faces. We don't want Ariana Grande to lay over the side of the bed and squeeze a potato like this and say, "The juice, release the juice." And then Portland lay over and pour some water and it goes and she's squealing. Y'all know, I'm not even going to repeat it. But, yeah. Dan, you can go rot in hell. You, James Marsden, Brian Peck, and all the other people out here causing havoc and trauma in these innocent babies' lives, and you supporting them is just as bad as doing it. I don't give a fuck. You may not be doing it, but you're supporting the person and you're helping them, you're assisting them in lessening of the time. That motherfucker, Brian Peck, he needs to pay. And 16 months in prison, not for years of brutally raping Drake Bell. And I'm quite sure you had your hands on other kids as well. Okay. But anyway, Dan Schneider, I hope your ass never works again. All right. And oh yeah, Disney. Y'all nasty motherfuckers is next on the chopping block. Speaking of degenerates, our favorite fallen star is all over the news again, and we love to see it finally falling apart before our very eyes in real time. Love it. Diddy, or Diddley, as we will call him moving forward. His 3 homes were raided by Homeland Security on March 25th, 2024 for sex trafficking. Dun, dun, dun. Aerial shots were showing that his sons that were in his home were taken out of the home and handcuffed. I believe the young girls were there, but on camera they only caught the boys from what I've seen. Okay. And resident baby mother, Misa Hilton, got on her account. She was like, our sons were terrorized. Girl, bye. Girl, please. It's okay. You don't want your sons terrorized, which means they just on the lawn in handcuffs while their father house gets raided. That's terrorized? Okay. But all these years, Diddy been terrorizing other people's sons for years. Girl, bye. The feds don't give a fuck about nothing you talking about. Misa, girl, we don't give a fuck what you talking about. Sat down. Just keep cashing them baby mother checks you getting from Diddy, Diddley, and hush your lips, okay? Anyway, it was a lengthy process to obtain a search warrant, but once the search warrant was obtained, the raid happened. State and local attorneys had to get involved to get the warrant. As favorite neighborhood troll 50 Curtis Jackson sent would tweet on March 25th, now it's not did he do it, it's did it done. They don't come like that unless they got a case. Definitely enough proof for a solid case has been obtained to a degree in order for the rating and all that stuff to happen. As per the independent.co.uk website reads, Diddy has also described the actions of agents as a gross overuse of military level force and insisted he is innocent of any wrongdoing as he faces a growing number of lawsuits, including for sexual abuse. Well, I don't know, Diddy. Whenever something grows, that normally means something just added on to it. Just add it on and add it on and add it on so it gets bigger and bigger and bigger. So, innocent of wrongdoing, Sarah? I wouldn't say all that. Maybe you need to get the dictionary and look at the definition of, what was that, innocent wrongdoing? Innocent of any wrongdoing? I'm going to need you to look up that phrase in the dictionary because that ain't it. You definitely ain't innocent, nigga. But wait, there's more. According to thecut.com, which was released, I read this last night, so 7 hours ago last night. So I would say about 20 at this point, 27 hours ago. But, again, this is coming from thecut.com. But, since then, meaning the raid, 3 more women and 1 man have sued Combs, accusing him of a wide range of abusive behavior, including sexual harassment, rape, non-consensual pornography, and sex trafficking. Like I said, it's growing more and more. More shit is just stacking up. So again, you're innocent of any wrongdoing? Oh, well. Other people's reports gonna say otherwise, diddly. Real time, I love to see it. Lilo and Cassie. Yes, the one that actually took her finger and said boop and started the domino effect. Cassie, girl, we love you. Cassie is also back in the public eye regarding this case. Let me pull up my information. Yes. Okay. So, on Twitter, an account called Say Cheese on April the 3rd tweeted, Cassie is reportedly cooperating with the federal government in the investigation against him, Diddley. She is one of the witnesses the feds have been in contact with, and she's been working with investigators for several weeks. When I tell you love to see it. Now, if y'all recall, Cassie sued Diddley on November 23rd, 2023, and was paid by Diddley in a settlement, which was estimated to be around 10 to 50 million. So, 10 to 50 million. There was never an exact amount disclosed, so we don't really know exact numbers. It just looked like the shitstorm for Diddley is only getting heavier. When it rains, it pours, right? Also, speaking of 50 Cent, Stevie J, spokesperson and alleged lover of Diddley, has become angry at 50 Cent due to his different posts. One, including bringing up the fact that Stevie J's name came up in another accuser story where they stated that they were forced to watch Stevie J on film have sex with another man in an attempt to groom the victim. I spoke about this gentleman a couple episodes ago. He was like the photographer that worked with Diddy for a little bit. Was it a photographer or was it somebody with I forget his name. But yeah, him. Stevie J called 50 Cent out and invited him to a fist fight. Now, Stevie J, sir, please stop. Stevie, if y'all watched Love and Hip Hop, Jocelyn Hernandez called Stevie J Stevie Stevie girl. You couldn't even get your former girlfriend, Jocelyn Hernandez, off your ass during an episode of Love and Hip Hop. She jumped on Stevie J and whooped this motherfucker's ass, and he could do nothing about it. Okay. And she repeatedly dog walked his ass on camera all the time in Love and Hip Hop. He talking about fighting another man. Calm down, Stevie. Go sit down. There's also been recent video of Stevie and DIDDY riding bikes off into the sunset happily together while in Miami. Oh, y'all cute, ain't you? As my boy Joey from Friends would say, how you doing? And yes, that term originally came from Friends. Check the history. How you doing? That shit came from Friends. Joey. Absolutely. Again, check the history. I ain't gonna say no names. Also, not sure if any of you heard this, but apparently another tweet by a woman named Diana Wallace was tweeted. Let me pull that up. Diana Wallace on April the 1st says, exclusive report. P. Diddy's mansion in Holmby Hills is 1 minute from the Playboy Mansion compound. Rumors have it there are underground tunnels connecting the two properties. Nasty work. Nasty work. Just gets betterer and betterer. As per the New York Post, in the $30 million lawsuit against DIDDY, Prince Harry, resident narcissist Nut Meghan Markle's puppy dog, a.k.a. husband, has been named in the suit as well. Well, let's see. What does it say? NewYorkPost.com. Title is Prince Harry name dropped in bombshell $30 million sex trafficking lawsuit against Sean Diddy Combs. Prince Harry's name has appeared in court documents against Bad Boy Records founder Sean Diddy Combs. Producer Rodney Little Rod Jones filed a $30 million lawsuit against the music mogul, 54, last month, citing that he participated in acts such as sexual conduct, grooming, and sex trafficking. The Post can confirm. According to the docs, Jones claimed that the Duke of Sussex, 39, and other A-listers' affiliation added to Diddy's legitimacy. The update comes amid the Diddy Dirty Member Money's Miami and Los Angeles mansions being raided. The homes were ambushed by federal agents and Homeland Security on Monday in a possible connection with the sex trafficking investigation. You little sex trafficker, you. Law enforcement sources told the Post that the feds moved in because they wanted to seize Diddy's phones and computers. They wanted all that child sexual stuff. Sex trafficking. Grown people. They want to see it all. They also alleged there would be further raids on houses associated with the mogul in New York and Chicago. Just hours later, Diddy was spotted pacing back and forth outside of a Miami airport. The court papers do not suggest that Harry was involved in any wrongdoing or criminal activity in conjunction with Diddy. So I guess that's good for Meghan Markle's dog. Her puppy. Yeah. The UK royal is not a defendant, nor has he been incriminated. His moniker only appears once in the documents. The Post has contacted Harry's camp for comment. Harry and estranged brother Prince William crossed paths with the notorious B.I.G. hype man and rapper Kanye West in 2007. And then it goes into talking about some kind of concert. But in 2012, Diddy gushed over Harry and the royal family, telling The Sun, I really can't wait to get to the UK, as London is one of my favorite cities. I'm also hoping I'll get to catch up with Prince Harry while I'm there. He's such a cool guy, and it's about time we hung out. He added, I need him to take me to see some of those wild Mayfair clubs. So apparently he's been named, but he hasn't been named doing anything crazy. So, you know, what did LeBron say? Ain't no party like a Diddy party. Speaking of LeBron, I can't wait for Savannah's podcast to come on. Come on, girl, bring it. Everybody's crazy. Yes. So, Shine is also joining the list of people to speak up against DIDDY during his whole current lawsuit. Shine Barrows was the scapegoat for the 1999 nightclub shooting that included DIDDY and Jennifer Lopez, aka J-Ho. I don't know if y'all remember that. It was a shooting, infamous 1999 Club New York shooting. Hot 97, nope, I'm sorry, not 97, but hot107.9.com says authorities could reinvestigate Shine Club shooting in new Diddy probe. When it rains, it pours, nigga. Authorities might be taking another look into the infamous 1999 Club New York shooting involving DIDDY and Shine as part of their current probe into the embattled rap mogul. Diddy is currently the subject of a reported sex trafficking probe, with his homes in Miami and Los Angeles being raided last week. According to a report published by the New York Post on March 30th, authorities might reopen an investigation into the December of 1999 club shooting where Shine and DIDDY were charged in connection to the incident that injured 3 people. The reinvestigation into the incident and the trial reportedly comes as the result of producer Rodney Lil Rod Jones' February lawsuit. Allegedly, Diddy bragged about, quote unquote, bribing witnesses and jurors in the criminal case concerning the 1999 NYC nightclub shooting with Shine. On December 27, 1999, following an altercation between the Bad Boy Camp and a man named Matthew Scar Allen, shots were fired and 3 people were injured at Club New York. Shine was convicted of criminal possession of a weapon, assault, reckless endangerment, but not found guilty of attempted murder, and sentenced to 10 years in prison. Diddy was acquitted of all charges in connection to the shooting. In 2009, Shine was released from prison and deported to Belize. So basically, Shine took the blame for Diddy. I'm sorry, y'all. I ain't taking nothing. Shit, listen, let me tell you something. And maybe I can't speak because I'm not on that level. But I get a stitch or two because if I'm not doing jail time by myself, I'm just not going to do it. Curiouser and curiouser. Well, Diddy, keep it up. Keep giving us that news about your raggedy ass that we all love to see. We love watching this deteriorate for you in real time, and we are going to keep watching. It's great to watch it in real time, yes. So I'll be sure to keep my popcorn piping hot as I watch the empire crumble, brick by glorious brick. Keep it up, Diddley. Please. Freaknik, the greatest story never told, finally debuted on Hulu after much hype and much excitement was around. It was palpitating. It was like a pulsing, like Freaknik. Ooh, now, I don't know if y'all are familiar. Everyone is familiar with Freaknik. Now, this was a very popular thing that was going on back in the early 90s. And I got a little confession. Your girl, I went to Freaknik briefly myself. Me and an old friend of mine, a girlfriend of mine, from down south, went back in 94. And we basically kind of just, because we were living in Huntsville, Alabama. I used to live in Huntsville, Alabama when I was younger. I went to school there for some time back then. Regular school, not college. And one of my very close friends, who was a schoolmate of mine as well, we was like, hey, everybody talking about it. Let's get us a little vehicle, jump on the vehicle and just drive and see what all the hullabaloo is. And when I tell y'all, them highways was packed, and it was, it was a time. We drove to Atlanta. We didn't get no rooms, and we stayed there for a couple of hours because it was like a 4-hour drive. But it was yeah. We wanted to see what the buzz was about, damn it, because everybody was talking about it. Like, ooh. Yes, ooh. But yeah. We didn't stay too long. But yeah, it was a time. If you know, you know. But anyway, so you know that Twitter is the go-to for conversations, jokes, and unwanted think pieces that we don't be asking for at certain times. And the airing of the Freaknik documentary was one of those times. Twitter was ablaze. Twitter was lit up like Christmas. And at one point, everybody was talking about Freaknik and the story of it and how it was unfolding and et cetera, et cetera. And then I don't know what happened because Uncle Luke, Luther Campbell from Two Live Crew, Mr. Doodoo Brown himself, Mr. Pop That Pussy, okay, um, his music was very, very relevant. Two Live Crew was very, very relevant during that time, okay? And so he did what anybody else would do that wanted to capitalize on music and getting attention for their stuff. He went to Freaknik and other spring break venues, but this film was basically about Freaknik. So he went and people wanted to do Brown. And also too, instead of back in the 90s, we had camcorders and you go to the store and you get them the little disposable cameras. They were like $5 a pop. You can get like 2 for 10 packs, y'all. Though if you know, you know. So it wasn't smartphones, it wasn't cell phones, internet wasn't popping back then like it was now. So, your claim to fame was video cameras. And who you thinking, oh, who gonna keep some old and this was in VHS format. VHS, yes. VHS, they don't have no more VCR. You need a VCR to play a VHS tape, basically. They do not sell VCRs. We are now in 2024. We got streaming. I don't even think they really do DVD players no more, for real. But I digress. But anyway, yeah, so people was young and having fun and going out there and fucking up. So Luke Campbell, of course, Doodoo Brown, and Pop That Pussy, and the Two Live Crew era, and the women ate it, and it wasn't twerking, it was booty shaking. Okay, strip clubs was alive with the sound of Luke, and the girls was getting in front of them cameras and dancing and shaking a little tail feather and jiggling a little booty meat. Yes, it was, like I said, it was a time. But anyway, at some point in time, not sure how and why, somebody decided that Uncle Luke, was the sole purpose for the failure of Freaknik. Luke Campbell, Uncle Luke, shut down Freaknik. He destroyed Freaknik single-handedly. Him and him alone. And of course, the sheepish masses followed suit, and everybody started, you right. Oh my God. He ruined everything with his songs. And if he didn't come to the Freaknik, it never would have crumbled. And no, listen, y'all need to stop spouting the thoughts of others and start thinking for yourself. Okay. Y'all not using your God-given brains to take things into consideration. One man, really? So, but who needs to think for yourself when you got a massive amount of random strangers that's thinking for you, right? Y'all crazy. Anyway, like I said, people on Twitter was single-handedly straight blaming Luke for the demise of the Freaknik. They said he was the only reason Freaknik ended. I mean, shit, the man is influential. But I had no idea that one man could jump into all the bodies and all the brains of years to come of everybody that decided to drive down to Freaknik, whether you went to college or not. So Luke, I guess, Uncle Luke, Luther Campbell, you are a powerful motherfucker because you have jumped into the bodies of each and every person that went to Freaknik after you went that one time. And it's you that destroyed Freaknik. How can you sleep at night, Uncle Luke? Because you are that powerful where you jumped into everybody's body, including the girls. You a powerful, godly motherfucker, ain't you? Listen, just because y'all grandmamas, mamas, aunties, older cousins decided that they wanted to Doodoo Brown for Luke and the local yokels on camera and other spring break ventures, don't blame that man for their individual decisions. I know accountability, it hurt, don't it? Oh, my mama did that on her own. No, Luke made her do it. There's many other factors other than Luke. I know y'all need a scapegoat. I get it. Accountability, it sucks. You do not want them elder females in your family to take accountability. I know, because they such matriarchal people and they so sweet and innocent. It just had to be Luke. He jumped into their bodies. They was possessed. Absolutely. So listen, Luke is not God. He cannot control other niggas. He is just a man that made ass music. And your mamas, aunties, grandmamas, and everybody else shook their ass to it willingly on the camcorders and on them disposable cameras, okay? So get over it and hope that the other footage of Freaknik and Spring Break venues don't get released to show what really went down willingly. Shh. We don't want that. Black Hollywood, you've done it again. You have allowed the almighty dollar to push you to do some bullshit. I'm talking about Netflix's upcoming animated show, Good Times, the reboot. Set to launch on April the 12th of 24. Have you seen the trailer? If you have not, I would suggest, if you got a few minutes to waste, to go check it out. Because it's some utter bullshit. Okay? Straight stereotypical bullshit that all the other cultures and races is going to eat up like cake. Okay? Now, what's even better, and I say that sarcastically, is the people who are executive producing it and starring in it. Let me read them off to you. Netflix's, this is by thehollywoodreporter.com. Netflix's animated Good Times counts the late Lear, Stephen Curry, yes, Steph Curry, basketball player, and Seth MacFarlane as executive producers, with Renata Shepard serving as showrunner. Launching April the 12th, the show features a voice cast that includes J.B. Smoove, Yvette Nicole Brown, Jay Farrow, Marsai Martin, and Gerald Slink Johnson. I'm going to go to the other tab and I'm going to pull up the whole list of voice actors. We have, like I said, Yvette Nicole Brown, J.B. Smoove, Marsai Martin, Jay Farrow, Gerald Slink Johnson, Wanda Sykes, Jessica Michaela, Venus DeMilo Thomas, and Rashida Oleyiwola. I hope I said your name correctly, Rashida. Okay? All black actors who know better. Absolutely shameful. Now, hasn't come out yet. And I do not intend to watch any episode. After I saw that trailer, I said, I'm good. Y'all got Florida Evans looking like Nene Leakes from The Real Housewives. If you do not know the great Lenethea Leakes, Nene Leakes. Now, she is great for reality TV show, but why would, as a reboot, why would you fashion Florida Evans as a Nene Leakes type with the short blonde weave and everything? Why are we doing this? Now, like I said, I do not intend to watch any of the episodes, so I won't be able to speak on the trash once it comes out. I will definitely keep my eye open for what people are saying that do decide to waste their time. Because let me tell you something. If y'all know me, y'all have heard me say this before, time is a commodity that we cannot get back. I cannot get a refund on time wasted. So if I sit my ass in front of my TV and Netflix and chill while watching some Good Times reboot, I cannot get that time back. And I do not intend to waste my time watching that bullshit. Okay? But from what I can see from the trailer, it ain't nothing but some stereotypical ass, embarrassing cooning for the Hollyweird masses for another paycheck type situation. You got a drug dealer, baby, in the trailer. That's funny. That's cute. That's a representation of the black community that y'all want the world to see. Okay. Listen, I hope them checks is worth it. Because when I saw black people are going to look like the lowest of the low of the low stereotypical characters, you know? But, y'all only helped by making this bullshit. All the black producers and actors. Okay? But hey, you got to do what makes you happy, right? Dollar bill, y'all. I'm just saying, I wouldn't do that shit, but I can't speak for y'all. Anyway. So it is review time. I don't do them much, but we gonna talk about Cowboy Carter. Perfection. I can't say anything else about this album but absolute and utter perfection. The production quality and the vocal arrangements, absolutely majestic and magical. Chef's kiss. Okay. Now, I've never been a Beyonce stan. I've never been a beehiver. Still not. Not that anything's wrong with it, but I just, yeah. Now I do know majority of her music. I have bought a couple of her albums. I'm waiting on Renaissance to come out on streaming so I can watch it, the one that was in the movies, so I can see it because I know it's going to be a glorious production. And some of her documentaries. One of my favorite documentaries is Life is But a Dream. Love Life is But a Dream for personal reasons. Now, a lot of things can be said about Beyonce, but one thing that can be said and cannot be disputed is that this woman makes you want to get on your grown woman shit. Little things that she says, little things that she does in her documents. Just like, how can I strive to, like, that's striving to do better for your ass, okay? So after listening to Cowboy Carter in full quite a few times, I've come to a crossroad in life. I even had to text the executive producer and say, listen, nigga, I am in love with Beyonce. I'm in love with her. Like, it's official. I'm in love with her. Like, nothing anybody could say, right? I'm enchanted with Miss Beyonce Giselle Knowles Carter as a release of her Act 2 Cowboy Carter. Now, I'm going to say why. The whole album is amazing, beautiful. Like I said, vocal arrangements, the tracks. She's letting out that Texas, them drawls and twangs are coming out. She is made for our country. And I do remember a while ago, this was many, many years ago, she's had many interviews, but I do remember her saying something where when she first came out to do Destiny's Child and Pop, she had to do lessons to bring that Southern twang down. Because you're not going to be able to, and I get it, you're not going to be able to appeal to the masses when you sound a certain way. Okay. Now, if she was just doing straight country from the beginning, sure. Or if she was just making music for people in her hometown and she kept that heavy, thick ass twang, sure. But when you're trying to become the great artist that Beyonce has done and reach the masses worldwide, you have to appeal to many multiple things. And a heavy Southern twang, a heavy Southern drawl is not going to make it when you're making pop music. Okay. But yes, so the first track, American Requiem. First of all, that song off the hilt just chills and shivers. Chills and shivers. And I was, listening to it and dissecting it. And I came across a video that said American Requiem a cappella version. So I said, okay, let me click on it. I clicked on it and this bitch made me shed tears on the harmonies, certain harmonies. Ain't nobody making me shed no damn tears. Okay. And I've heard many hidden vocal tracks and a cappella versions of Beyonce's, some other tracks of hers as well. And Beyonce is phenomenal, amazing, untouchable. We know this. But for some reason, the a cappella version of American Requiem, y'all got to pull it up and listen to it. A cappella version. No track, no nothing. Certain parts of the song where it sound, when you listen to it with the track and it sounds like it's music, it's fucking her voice in certain parts, okay? So yeah, the a cappella version of American Requiem, that motherfucker hit different. Jay-Z, if you listening, I challenge you to a duel. Yes, and just like that, I'm out. I'm going to see y'all next time. Bye.